Hi everyone, back with another video. So, I have been a backend developer since I can remember for about 8 years now. Yeah, I have worked with Python, PHP, PHP framework called Laravel. There is a lot of SQL. I have worked with a lot of JavaScript. Most of the systems I have built have been kind of niche systems, so um, finance systems mostly. But the point is, like, until recently, I was kind of like very proud to be backend developer, and I just love backend development. That's what I've been doing, and I supported everybody who did backend development. So whenever there was a debate about um, backend versus front end versus full stack, all these sort of things, I always I have always spoken in favor of favor of niche development, so back end or full end or front end. Go all back end or go all front end. I've always done that until recently. Um, so I kind of wanted to just test the market. Then I realized that um, there is jobs in the market, but I actually didn't want to do the job. I wanted to kind of go into freelancing and stuff like that. And so I kind of explored my options and I spoke to a few people. What I specifically wanted to do, I wanted to just build sites for people, local businesses. When you actually start with local businesses, you don't end up making a lot of money. Um, so I I let people know that I was freelancing, building websites for local people, and I had few people contacting me. We had good chat. Um, we spoke about what they wanted, and all of them wanted new website because they didn't have a website. And that's when it really hit me that being specialist, specifically a backend developer, does not really cut it. It's not gonna work when you wanna kind of freelance and build websites for the clients. Just doesn't work. You're a backend developer. You have specialized. You're an engineering guy, but you can't build a website from start to finish because it involves CSS, a lot of JavaScript, a lot of responsiveness on the mobile phones, and things like that. And as a backend developer, I don't usually do that. I mean, I do here and there, but I can't build a website from 0 to 100, especially when most of the stuff is front end. And a lot of times the designs are a little more complex than just basic stuff. So it kind of hit me, and I realized, oh shit, I can't build a site for these guys because all I have done is back end my whole life. And I kind of just gave up. I kind of told the guys, yeah, look, I can't do it at the moment. Um, One of my friends who's gonna help me is not gonna help me anymore. So I kind of just left it. I had to be embarrassingly. I had to tell people that I can't do it. Um, and now the same thing. When you want to build products, you have to be full stack. You have to know front end, back end, server stuff. Obviously, the server stuff, DevOps falls in the back end mostly, but you do need to be really good with front end. So then I started to realize, you know what? Maybe it's good to know a little bit of front end as well. It's good to be full stack at this point in this market when companies are literally closing down. It's really difficult to find jobs. It's good you kind of not put all your eggs in one bucket. It's good to kind of know a little bit of this and a little bit of this. If you're specialized, very good. But I would suggest at this point in this market to, if you're already good backend developer or good front end developer, try to get used to the other stuff as well a little bit. Like if you're a front end developer, maybe just kind of mess around with some of the easy backend languages. Build some projects, and it becomes so much easier, I think, to get hired when you are like that. you're multi-skilled. I would not have said this. Funny enough, I wouldn't have said this 3 years ago, before pandemic, 4 or 5 years ago. I would not have said. I would have said, like, I would have said, like, specialize. Just go ahead and specialize. There's no point in being generalist. Nobody hires generalists, but at this moment, it feels like if you're gonna survive financially, it's good to know as many tools as possible. That includes AI as well. As many tools as possible: front end, back end, DevOps, server. And obviously, if you're just starting off, maybe just start with something easy. Just back end probably, or just front end. But if you've been coding for some time, I would advise just kind of start to shift the way market is going. It seems like companies are going to prefer people who can kind of do a little bit of everything, specialize in one thing, but they can still do a little bit of other things. And to be fair, and last thing is that, those are really important points anyway, but last thing is that if you are employed in this moment, it kind of gives you more leverage in the company. If you're just a backend developer, yeah, you're going to get backend work, but when it comes to a little bit of front end here and there, and you can't do it, it kind of makes it look bad. If you can't just simply fix a bug that appears only on mobile phone, you should be able to do that. Even as a backend developer, unfortunately, at this moment, it kind of gives you more weight. It helps you kind of show to the team, to the people that, yeah, I specialize in backend, but this I can still handle this. However, if you can't handle that stuff, then it kind of looks bad, and you kind of lose that weight in this moment, in this market. So I would say, two things. If you are just starting off, start with basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, maybe PHP. Okay. If you're already specialized, then I would say start get a little bit into front end if you're a backend developer. And if you're a front-end developer, you work with something like React, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery. Get into backend. Try using traditional backend technologies like Python, maybe PHP. Maybe learn some framework in the backend, and it's kind of just give you more options. And also, it's when there is a difference between when a full stack developer speaks, a good full stack developer speaks about something, versus when a specialized guy speaks. A specialized guy will speak about one particular thing. Meanwhile, a full stack guy might speak like a CTO because he can understand the broader picture. So that's my thought about front end, back end, full stack stuff. Let me know, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe. And since it's Friday, have a nice weekend.